Oh yeah. Oh man, this is I hate this shit. 8 conservative candidates used public money to place ads in a newspaper that spreads COVID-19 conspiracies. The Epoch Times, or the Epoch Times, has made headlines in Canada and around the world for its outlandish COVID-19 claims. 8 federal Conservative candidates in Alberta have placed advertisements in a media outlet despite widely reported concerns that the outlet spreads conspiracy theories about COVID-19. The Epoch Times is a controversial media outlet that is affiliated with Falun Gong, a spiritual movement that is often outspoken in criticizing the Chinese government. On its website, the outlet describes its editorial mission as uncovering the evils of communism. Falun Gong. And Falun Gong. And here's their symbol. This is a group that was created in the 90s. Right? There's the Falun Gong symbol. You guys noticing anything about the Falun Gong symbol that was created in the 90s? Yeah. Yeah. So, that's concerning, right? It's one thing, like, the conversation around whether or not to let a place like the Epoch Times exist in the first place, like, that's one conversation. Right? Hey, Red, how you doing today, bud? But the fact that there are actual conservatives that are connecting themselves to this, right? That are actually connecting themselves to this, taking, what is it? Yeah, placing ads in a newspaper that is run by these guys. Very, very concerning. This links in very cleanly with the fact that the Conservative Party of Canada, hey Onward, how you doing? Oh yeah, it's totally different. It's turned the other direction. Yeah, absolutely. Right? Oh sure. Yeah, bazinga, you got me. You're right, dude. You're right. Conversation over. Right? Just, oh, don't worry about it, John. Just put it to bed. Falun Gong, totally normal. Fucking totally normal. I've had people say to me, like, well, you know, John, technically the swastika is a Buddhist symbol for peace. I'm like, these guys started in the 90s. They know exactly what they're doing, right? There's a reason they get expelled from China. There's a reason why the Chinese got rid of these guys, right? Like, there's a reason. And its leader, I did some deep digging on the leader. The leader genuinely says that he has superpowers. He thinks he can turn invisible. He thinks that he can fly, right? These sorts of things. I could just do it when you're not looking, right? And and he also espouses, he said evolution's not real. Interracial marriage is evil. You shouldn't do it. That sort of stuff. Like, this is Falun Gong, right? These guys are fucking fascists. Very clearly and obviously they are fascists. And I mean, uncovering the evils of communism while walking around with this. Yeah, okay, buddy. Whatever you say. And 8 conservatives have put ads in there. This, of course, is a massive concern to me because Aaron O'Toole releases a tweet, their slogan tweet no less, so one of their more important tweets, that follows the 1488 formula of the Nazi slogans, that when the Nazis came out with slogans, they were to follow 14 words, 88 characters, right? 88, of course, being the magic number if you're a Nazi, because 8 is the aligns with the letter H. And HH, Heil Hitler, right? This is like well-embedded, well-documented Nazi code, and the O'Toole administration is using that code in its tweets. And on top of that, I mean, Aaron O'Toole is walking around saying Canada first, right? A well-known Ku Klux Klan slogan. America first is a fucking Ku Klux Klan slogan, and Aaron O'Toole's walking around saying Canada first. Like, and now with this kind of shit, it becomes very difficult to not conclude that the Conservative Party, you have to conclude that the Conservative Party has been taken over by white supremacists. Like, you have to conclude that that's the case. I had a conversation with my brother yesterday, My brother works for the NDP in Manitoba, and he kind of was wondering, because like they got rid of Andrew Scheer, right? But Andrew Scheer actually gained seats in the party, right? That after the election was all said and done, Andrew Scheer, a first-time candidate, he came out and he gained seats. He consolidated a lot of power, and turned the Liberal majority into a Liberal minority. And yet the Conservatives got rid of him anyway, even though he ran, by any political account, a fairly successful campaign. Well, why did they do that? And I think it's because Andrew Scheer wasn't willing to play ball on the white supremacy issue. And so the white supremacists in the party got rid of him and put in somebody who's actually sympathetic to white supremacy and who's actually sympathetic to these guys, right? Like, the Conservative Party here in Canada has become a terrifying white supremacist movement. And they're flaunting it. It's open. Like, does Aaron O'Toole literally need to come out with, like, the hood? Like, is that literally what we need to see before we start actually concluding what is obviously the fact? That, like, hey, there are Conservatives in the Conservative Party who are donating to a group whose symbol is still this. This is their symbol. This is the Falun Gong symbol. Like, put two and two together, people. It's time to wake up. It's time to realize that the Conservatives are a terrifying white supremacist death cult who deny the existence of climate change, who literally are saying, yeah, the sun will burn us down, but that's fine because Jesus. Right? Like, we're talking about, like, a high level of delusion that is just outrageous. And now you literally have Conservatives donating to this, running ads in a magazine owned by these guys, right? And you're genuinely trying to tell me that the Conservative Party is not a white supremacist movement. Those 8 Conservatives should be expelled from the party. If I was the leader of a party and my guys were donating to fucking Nazis, which that's what this fucking is. It's reversed, so it's okay now. Get the fuck out of here. Like, the fact that those people are not being expelled from the party means that there are Nazis in the party. And there's a great German phrase, right? If there are 9 people sitting at a table and a known Nazi comes and sits at the table and no one complains about it, there are 10 Nazis sitting at a table. 8 Conservatives donated to Falun Gong in order to run articles in the Epoch Times, which is an explicitly anti-Chinese, anti-communist newspaper, and this is the Falun Gong symbol. What? You mean the fire wheel sign in the logo? No, dude, I'm talking about the fucking swastika. I'm talking about the literal Nazi swastika. And before anybody hits me with anything, this group was started in the 90s. They knew exactly what they were doing. There's a reason the Chinese expelled them, right? That Western media outlets are like, oh, the Chinese are so authoritarian and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, the Chinese expelled the fascists, literal Nazis, from their ranks, right? Which puts them a leg up on us. We still let these guys publish garbage into our and of course, Falun Gong, who believe in magic and think their leader can turn invisible and all this kind of crazy shit. They're also spreading conspiracy theories about COVID-19. And it's dangerous shit, too. Like, the shit that you're seeing in the United States now where people are like, I'm not going to get a vaccine. Oh, I'm not going to put on a mask, any of that kind of stuff. A New York Times investigation described the Epoch Times as a global-scale misinformation machine that has repeatedly pushed fringe narratives into the mainstream, including the Spygate and QAnon conspiracy theories, relying on aggressive Facebook tactics and right-wing misinformation, right? This is what they are, and our Conservative Party is giving them money. I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I don't know what to do anymore to convince people that the Conservatives are extremely dangerous. That the amount of support that they have right now is fucking unacceptable. It's fucking unacceptable that a neo-Nazi movement, the Conservative Party, exists in Canada and has over 100 seats in our parliament. These guys should be expelled from the party at minimum. At minimum, these 8 Conservatives should be fucking expelled from the party. That's not gonna happen though, right? That's not gonna happen. Why? Because Aaron O'Toole is fucking walking around putting up Nazi slogans as his party slogan. Like, Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. The Black Rifle Company coffee uses the 88 also. Many conservatives follow this too. Yeah, exactly. And it's and I'm over this like, oh, I don't know about that, John. Could just be a coincidence, right? Oh, could, yeah, it was founded in 1988, right? Could just be a coincidence. No, it's fucking not. Like, it is fucking not. Grow up. Nazis use codes. They dog whistle. We have a long history of the Ku Klux Klan using Hitler's codes that he purposefully used in order to communicate with his own people and like wink at one another and create understandings with one another that, oh, you're a Nazi too? Okay, good, I'm a Nazi too. Without explicitly saying that. So that they always have this plausible deniability. So that they can always go, what? 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 I know what? What are you talking about? What? And if you're a gullible fucking moron, like most of the populace of Canada, you're just gonna fucking go along with it. You're just gonna be like, yeah, I guess so. You know, it does, I guess. Like, literally, the Canadians need to see, like, Aaron O'Toole put a gun against a Jew's head and pull the fucking trigger. Like, that's literally what they need to see at this point. Because they're so fucking gullible and they're so fucking stupid. When people, and I want to be really clear, is this, because they said conservative candidates. Yeah, federal conservative candidates. So 8 of his caucus members gave money to the Epoch Times. Here they are. This is who they are. Like, it's over, right? The game is up. If you're voting conservative, you're voting for white supremacists, you're voting for Nazis. That's who you're voting for. Get fucked. Get fucked. If I find out you vote conservatives, I will spit on your feet. If you're lucky, it'll be your feet. Because it's disgusting. What these people stand for is disgusting. What Aaron O'Toole and his his fucking Nazi party stand for is disgusting. And Aaron O'Toole's Conservative Party is actually more dangerous than the Nazis. Because even the Nazis didn't attempt to destroy all human life. Even the Nazis weren't walking around saying, yeah, I want my children to die in fire. Right? Even the Nazis believed that they were actually helping their own children instead of abandoning them to this fucking death cult. Right? Walking around denying climate change at this point tells me you don't even give a fuck about your own family. You don't give a fuck about your own children. You don't give a fuck about anything. All you care about is murdering Jews, murdering minorities, and maintaining the prestige and glory of the white Aryan race. And you've got fucking Stephen Harper walking around saying, I protect Western values, particularly Anglo values. What do you think that means? What do you think it means when former Prime Minister Stephen Harper walks around saying, I'm protecting particularly Anglo values, particularly white Aryan values? This is who these guys are. It's time to wake up. This is who these guys are. This is extremely dangerous, right? This is extremely dangerous to let, like, neo-Nazis openly flaunt their shit in the society like this. Like, no. No thank you. Like, those 8 conservatives, these 8 conservatives, let's name names. Let's name names. Conservative candidates: Tom Kimek, Len Weber, Carrie Diotte, Michael Cooper, Stephanie Kusi, Kelly McCulley, James Cumming, and Zaid Abdeltaif used public funding in order to get ads into a news organization owned by a group whose symbol has a fucking Nazi swastika on it. These people should be expelled from the party at bare minimum. Bare minimum. And the fact that they're not being expelled from the party tells you exactly what the alliance of the Conservative Party is. Right? That when they ejected Derek Sloan, we all remember this, when Derek Sloan told the Minister of Health to go back to China, right? We all remember this, and that got him expelled from the Conservative Party, that was just a sacrificial lamb. He made it too obvious. He made it too obvious that they're neo-fascists. He made it too obvious that they're actually a Nazi party. So they had to get rid of him, right? But what did that do for Derek Sloan? It martyred him, right? If you go and you find Canada First, which is a neo-Nazi group that operates here in Canada, Canada First is a neo-Nazi group that organizes here in Canada. Their Discord is called Canada First. One of their little sections that you can go to is called the Sloan Zone. So Derek Sloan was martyred for the fascist cause by his conservative brothers because he stepped out of line and made it too obvious that he's a fucking Nazi. And now 8 of them are giving money to this. With public funds, no less. Get fucked. Get fucked. If you're voting Conservative, I will spit on you. You're as bad, if not worse, than a Nazi, because at least the Nazis cared about their own children. Brutal. Brutal.